thank you everybody that sent a question in for Pete Lucock. I've got all your questions in. Pete Seabourne's here to join us as well, so got all angles covered. First one, Pete Lucock. Will you be head coach or player head coach? And does this mean you'll be hanging up your boots as a player?
I think for the time being I'll be head coach. I think my body's even slower than it was in my prime, so I think I can offer a lot more value to the other boys just from concentrating on being head coach for the time being.
And what do you think you'll bring to the table as a coach?
Well, I've never been the most physical or athletic kind of person, so I always prided myself playing on bringing others up around me, making their job as easy as I can. So I feel like the progression now is I can do that, especially being off field. Just make their roles and jobs loads easier so they can just concentrate on putting out the best products on the field.
What was the best coaching advice you got as a player that you can now use as a coach?
I've had loads, but probably the simplest one is just go out and enjoy it. But I think that comes from being prepared, knowing what you need to do and what you need to do for the team. And then rugby becomes really enjoyable, winning games with your mates and getting better and striving for that greatness every week.
And this one's a bit for both of you a little bit, so feel free to chip in. What was the mood in the camp at the end of the season? From a supporter's perspective, it was very disappointing, yet still filled with positivity and pride.
For me, I was disappointed, obviously, seeing the club where it was and then having such a massive incline in performance and just feel around the club. I was gutted, I was disappointed because that would have been the fairy tale ending to that season, but look, if anything, it's made us hungrier to achieve that again going forward.
And just to back that up, yeah, I'm the same view. We're really disappointed because we've been top for 99% of the season, but we just fell short last couple of games, which were disappointing. But we can kick on, we can improve on what we did last year, and hopefully come back bigger and better and stronger next year.
Do you think it will spur the squad on to go one better next year?
I hope so. You could tell by the feeling after the Fylde game, and then after the game at Sheffield, we were down, we were low, but at the end of the day, like we said, looking back on the season, if you'd have said that would have happened, I think everyone would have bit your hand off, but there's that burning desire that we need to go one better and we want to go one better.
Where do you think we need to improve this year to go one better?
I think defensively, I think we can get loads stronger. I think our try scoring record spoke for itself. A lot of pre-season was built around our attack and how we're going to get attacking structures in. I think now we've got that, now we're just going to hit the ground running with that. I think a massive thing for us is defensively how we can get better, how we can create more tries from turnovers, transition from that point of view. And just a bit of game awareness as well. I think we were naive in a couple of games, but that's also messages that we sent out, that we said we're going to attack space. But I think if we can strike the balance between it, that's where we're going to get better and we're going to have a good season.
One for both of you again. Who do you think will be up there with our toughest opponents in the league next season?
I think all of them. Definitely all of them, because obviously we come out last year all guns blazing and obviously just dropped short, so everybody looking at Leeds Titans and probably putting the favourites tag on us straight away, which our first priority next year again is to be safe, and that's the first day by Christmas, and then we can reassess and readjust from there. But they all want our scalp.
Yeah, completely agree. I think the really good thing about this league is the games mean everything. You're not travelling 200 miles down the road. They're all local. They're all close, and every game's got a meaning and got something behind it.
And one for you, Pete Seabourne. How many of the current squad would you like to retain going forward?
So what I'd really like to retain is all of them, and 99% of them have re-signed. So that'll be all announced in the next couple of weeks. And then we've got 4 definite new signings with 8 that are coming in just to train with us and see if they can fit in and see if they can adjust to the pace and the tempo of our league, because those 8 are coming from whether it's lower league clubs, whether it's academy level, or whether it's coming out as student, so books rugby.
keep your eye on the social media. There'll be the re-signings and the new signings coming out soon. And another one for you, Pete Seabourne. Which positions in the squad are the main priorities for strengthening?
We've looked at all the positions and we've targeted 2 or 3, of which fly half was definitely one of them, because we needed another 10 coming in, which we've got. We need another second row, which we're working on, and then we've worked on a front row player, which again he's signed, which will be announced in the next couple of weeks.
And then adding on to that, would you like to strengthen with youth to build going forward, or some experience to help bring the current crop through when it gets tight at the end of the season?
I'm a big believer in both. So youth brings that exuberance and that excitement in and around the place, because they've never been in this environment before. So we've got those pushing from below, and their enthusiasm really kicks in. And then we're looking at a couple of experienced players as well, just to get us over the line if we need it, like we did last year when I brought Callum Irvine in right at the death, just to try and get us over the line.
I think on that as well, we have got a lot of leaders within the group, but I think they now need to come to the fore a bit. Like, they're all a year older, they've been around the club for a long time, and I think there's a lot of experience in the group. We just need to get it the right way so we can build on that.
And then one for both of you again. How do work commitments affect selection? Do you have a no train, no play policy, or scheduled players' availability in blocks of games with workload, etc.?
Well, to me, when I ever speak to a player, I always tell them that work comes first, because we can't pay them a hell of a lot of money. We're not full-time environment, so that they have to work to subsidise the living commitment. So work comes first, and then after that, then we can build in training programs for them if and when they can't train, and then obviously we work in and around games, as some players had to miss games through work last year. A lot of players definitely missed 3 or 4 sessions at least throughout the course of the season, and it'll be the same again next year, which we know we expect, and it's just something that we deal with as a management and a coaching group, and we just work around it.
Okay, back to you, Lucock. What do you think makes a successful team, and how do you think you'll make sure the Tykes are successful this season?
I think you need a lot of different characters in a team. I think you need the people who can have that bit of stardust, can create something out of nothing. But bigger than that, I think as a team perspective, you need everyone to buy into what you want. If you've got one person who's going rogue, going out of system, it can ruin it for the rest of us. I think what we had last year was a game plan that we went with, we followed an attacking structure we followed, and we got the rewards out of it. You might not get the rewards and the plaudits all the time, but you're doing your bit in the job where someone else will benefit from it. But throughout the course of the season, it evens itself out, so everyone will get the recognition they deserve, and it's just that selflessness that you're doing it for the team. You might not get the plaudits all the time, but as a unit, as a core group, that's what we want.
We did have one final question about the mid and long term aspirations of the club and the time frame. That's kind of a bit of an ongoing piece of work that's going on in the background at the minute. So expect something from our chairman, Alistair Da Costa, over the next few months about plans going forward. But for the meantime, Pete, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody for your questions.
Thank you.
Okay.